Welcome to Vacuum Wars, and to our review of the Bissell Pet Hair Eraser Allergen Liftoff 39883, which was clearly designed to rival one of the best-selling vacuums of all time, the Shark Navigator Liftaway. Although we've tested a lot of Bissell uprights over the years, even a few other pet hair eraser models, this is the first one that has really impressed us in terms of value and performance. And after buying one for ourselves and testing it over the last few weeks, it's clear that Bissell has finally beat Shark, at least in this low-cost category. And in this video, we'll explain why. First, let's talk about the Shark Navigator Liftaway 300 series. There are three main versions of this model, all equally bestsellers. The reason they were so successful is that they were the first upright vacuum to combine several key features. They were lightweight, with a sealed filtration system, something unheard of at this price when they came out. They had the innovative liftaway feature, which made them very versatile. They had swivel steering, which is still somewhat rare at this price range, and they just worked well. It was a great combination of features, and it made Shark a household name. Bissell has, in our opinion, struggled to compete in terms of performance and value with Shark, and up until this new model, they'd yet to have an upright vacuum appear on the Vacuum Wars Top 10 list, which has historically been dominated by Sharks and Dysons. Starting off with the pros. The Bissell Pet Hair Eraser Liftoff had really solid pickup scores on both hard floors and carpets. It has a tangle-free brush roll, a squeegee to prevent debris from scattering, and 3 relatively large front gates for letting in large debris. None of those features are found on the Shark Navigators. For example, the Sharks don't have a squeegee, so you really should turn the brush roll off when vacuuming hard floors. Also, the Sharks don't have any anti-tangle features on their brushes, a feature that didn't exist when they were designed. So they get tangled really easily with hair, whereas the Bissell did quite well at resisting hair tangles in her tests on the 7-inch hair test, and moderately good with the 14-inch hair test. Certainly much better than the Navigators. Also, those front gates mean that its hard floor pickup performance was quite a bit better with larger debris, like the Fruit Loops in our tests, something that the old Navigators just couldn't do. They do both have the wand, which is really easy to remove for larger debris, but more on that later. On carpets, the Bissell also performed well in the surface debris pickup. The larger gates allowed it to handle everything we tested, from small particles to extra large debris without issue. The Shark Navigators, on the other hand, with their low-profile heads and lack of gates, tended to snowplow anything medium-sized or larger. So overall, when it comes to floor head design and surface debris pickup, the Bissell clearly has the advantage. The Bissell was also great with deep cleaning carpets. We tested this by embedding sand into medium pile carpets and weighing the bins before and after, where the Bissell got a perfect score of 100%, which is not all that much different from the Sharks, which did good here as well. But as far as the basics of vacuuming hard floors and carpets, the Bissell was rock solid, especially for a vacuum in this price range. The Bissell also did good on all the areas that originally made the Shark Navigators a hit. For example, it has a sealed filtration system, which passed our fog test perfectly. It is a nice, responsive swivel floor head, which can get in and out of tight spaces easily, which is a game changer if you hadn't had that before. And it has an answer to Shark's so-called liftaway feature, which Bissell calls liftoff. This is where, at the press of a button, you can detach the canister and carry it around without the floor head, which is great for stairs or for above-floor cleaning jobs. It also has the same kind of easy detachable wand for ultra-quick deployment, which is incredibly useful for getting super large debris or for on-the-fly above-floor cleaning jobs. One notable difference here is that the Bissell only detaches with the wand, whereas the Sharks can detach the handle from the wand as well, giving you extra versatility. In terms of specs, features, and test results, they were all pretty similar. Both the Bissell and the Sharks had similar sealed suction scores, all of which were above average. The Bissell did outperform the Sharks on the unsealed suction test, however, getting more than double that of the Shark Navigator Deluxe, for example. Though attachment sets can vary widely with these models, the Bissell did come with a 2-in-1 dusting brush and crevice tool and a turbo eraser pet tool, which is a suction-powered brush that's pretty useful, and something that's not included in the standard packages of the Sharks. They all had the exact same cord length at 25 feet. Two areas that the Sharks were better than the Bissell were in dustbin capacity, where the Sharks were slightly bigger, and the other was with overall weight. And although they were all below average in terms of weight, which is a good thing, the Sharks were about a half-pound lighter. Another somewhat negative thing with the Bissell is that its liftoff mechanism was a little more awkward than with the Sharks. It functioned fine, but the button placement and handle design just seemed a little less easy to use than with the Sharks. A minor nitpick, but worth noting. The Bissell Pet Hair Eraser Allergen Liftoff is the first time that Bissell has made the Vacuum Wars top upright vacuum list, and it's currently ranking in the top 5, and that's pretty impressive considering it's selling for about $150, slightly cheaper than the Sharks as of the time of writing this. It's better at its basic job of picking up debris on the surfaces of hard floors and carpets, equally good at deep cleaning carpets, and it has great filtration, a good swivel, a very useful lift-off and wand mechanism, and it actually has a decent anti-hair wrap feature. So in terms of value, it seems like a no-brainer over the Shark Navigators. That being said, there is a certain something to the Shark Navigators, and they still have their place. If for no other reason than they're solidly built, and there are a lot of extra parts available online if you need replacements. So, we're happy to announce that in addition to this model making the Vacuum Wars Top 10 list, it also is our pick for Best Value Upright Vacuum of 2026. Links in the description to everything we mentioned, and thanks for watching. Vacuum Wars independently tests new vacuums year-round, and the links in the description are updated regularly to reflect our latest top picks across multiple categories. You'll also find detailed rankings on the Vacuum Wars website, including our top 20 robot vacuums, top cordless vacuums, and more. Every review here is unsponsored, just honest results. Subscribe so you never miss one, and tap the next video to keep watching.